During the late Italian Renaissance, which would have been around the 14th century to mid-15th, the topic of witches and witch hunting was becoming part of everyday life. The European witch craze of that time stood as a clear example of the power of cultural myths. In the case of this period, the myth was that Satan's minions, who were mainly women, conspired to destroy the Christian church and faith. The myth was amplified by fear as the story became a reality by means of manifestation in everyday life. For example, if a shipwreck or bad harvest were to occur, it would be blamed on sorcery and witches. Statistically, more women than men were executed, possibly due to the sexual discrimination of that time. It was reported in southern Europe alone there were 10,000 prosecutions and 1,000 executions. What type of women were accused of witchcraft? Women who were old, unmarried, lower class, victims of village and town jealousy, those accused of diabolism. Women who specialized in herb and plant healing, also known as healers, were especially accused, tried and prosecuted. At that time, any powerful specialist knowledge that was incomprehensible and frowned upon by the church was seen as spiritually unclean. They, however, did not target midwives, who used similar techniques as they were needed desperately at those times. Initially, women who had specialist knowledge in herb and plant healing were regarded as commendable people in their society and were highly respected. But as the 14th century progressed, the Christian church became worried that these sort of practices would overtake religion. They condemned any form of healing such as this and decreed it blasphemy against the Christian church as a form of diabolism. In Italy, another common form of witchcraft was being performed by women called love magic. The Catholic Church accused many women of performing magic in order to bind their desired love interest to them emotionally. One example of this is when a veterinarian courtesan called Adriana Savorgnan married a veterinarian nobleman called Marco Donnulo. Not only did the social unequal marriage catch the attention of Marco's family, it caught the attention of the Roman Inquisition. The Catholic Church claimed that she was no more than a mere prostitute that had to rely on magic to convince Marco to marry her. It is not sure if she was prosecuted for this. Prosecution in the mid-14th century was seen as heavily based on accusation, rather than evidence and facts. For instance, a woman was accused, tried and hung for being a witch because the victim claims they were looked at funny. Other accusations were being thrown by the social elite and wealthy towards peasants as they were pests to them and their homes. People of the same hierarchical group used to accuse one another for town fame. When another person spots a witch, they adopted a type of celebrity title among their peers. There are also examples of where people are blackmailed out of money in fear of being wrongly reported as a witch. During the period, witches that were tried and convicted were burnt at the stakes, as the Italians thought it was the best way to eliminate witchcraft. Hung, beheaded, and dunked. The process of dunking has no benefit for either innocent or guilty targets.